Are you looking for ways to camp affordably and get the most out of your RV lifestyle? In this episode of the Restless Nomads radio show, we break down the 1,000 Trails memberships and whether they're worth it. Plus, we'll share an RV pro tip that could save you a major headache when booking campgrounds. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Restless Nomads, the ultimate RV show for modern-day rubber tramps and weekend warriors alike. Whether you're chasing sunsets full-time, savoring seasonal escapes, or just hitting the road for a quick weekend getaway, this is your go-to show for tips, tricks, and tales from the road. Join us as we dive into everything RV, choosing the right rig, surviving life on wheels, and navigating the highs and lows of life on the move. From towables to motorhomes, budget hacks to campsite secrets, we've got you covered. So buckle up, nomads, and let's hit the road to adventure, 1 mile at a time. Getting back in the hot seat, Mike flying solo with you on today's episode of the Restless Nomads radio show. Check out the restlessnomads.com, our travel vlog. You can stay abreast for all the adventures that me and Angie get to go on. Right now, our RV is completely snowed in. We won't be going anywhere for a little bit, but in the second half of this episode, we will be announcing 2 big upcoming trips this spring and summer. The RV news update, seeing a little bit of a shift in the industry, experiencing quite a notable shift as of February of 2025. Recent study reveals that new RV owners are trending younger and also more pet-friendly. Typically, historically, it's been older folks that get involved with the RV lifestyle. They usually have a little bit more freedom, but with the onset of remote work, we're seeing that age drop lower and lower. In industry developments, Venture RV has celebrated the production of its 35,000th unit, marking a significant milestone in the company's growth. However, not all good news. Winnebago Industries reported its first adjusted loss in years during the fiscal first quarter, attributed to consumers' preference for lower-priced RVs and cautious dealer networks. Well, let's jump right into it. Today, we're going to talk about 1,000 Trails. What is it, and is it worth it? 1,000 Trails is a membership-based camping network. It was founded in 1969. It provides access to over 190 campgrounds across the United States. It can be a good money saver for long-term campers, especially if you live near 1,000 Trails campgrounds, like we in Oregon and in Washington, California are in pretty good shape. There are several. Also, over on the eastern United States, there are several, and then as well as in the southern states. Basically, it's kind of funny how this works with 1,000 Trails campgrounds. If you look at a map of the United States and you just trace the perimeter of the United States, beginning up in Washington State, moving south across Texas, over up to Georgia, even some parks in Florida, and then go up to Maine. Those states on the perimeter, minus the north perimeter, have the greatest number of 1,000 Trail campgrounds. So if you live in one of those states or close to one of those states, it might just be worth it. If you're trying to take a trip across the bread basket of the United States, there are no 1,000 Trails campgrounds. There might be some Encore parks, but no 1,000 Trails campgrounds in those Midwestern states. Now, the quality of the parks vary. Some are really well maintained. Others are absolutely awful. Most are suffering from some aging infrastructure, and they need updates. But depending on what you're getting into it for, will determine whether or not it's worth it for you. If you're looking for hookups, then this might be your kind of deal, especially if you are looking for hookups for long stays. You know, typically a normal RV park rate right now is $50 to, I've seen it as high as $80 a night. at some RV parks. So that can get real expensive if you want to spend a week somewhere. Thousand Trails gives you some savings. So just depending on what you're after, if you're looking for a resort style experience, Thousand Trails probably will disappoint. If you're just looking to plug in and get water and dump your sewer and stay somewhere cheap for a long time, Thousand Trails might be exactly what's on the ticket. So let's talk about, like I said, a lot of the parks have aging infrastructure. For example, Bend Sun River Thousand Trails, the swimming pool has been broken for years, and there's this deceptive sign on the pool gate, and they replace it each summer, saying that the swimming pool essentially just broke and they're going to have it fixed by next summer. Well, they replace that sign every summer, and it's been like that for years. Now, how much does it cost, and what are the different packages? So, Base Camping Pass starts at about $600 a year, and that allows access to a regional set of parks. So you can buy a camping pass for, let's say, the Pacific Northwest, and that'll get you into Oregon and Washington, and I think even British Columbia. There's one park up there that you can get into. And those $600 a year, you can stay for 2 weeks at a time. You can leave. You got to be out of the system for 1 week, and then you can come back after that 1 week out, even to the same campground if you want. So if you wanted to, let's say you're at Thousand Trails South Jetty in Florence, you could stay there for 2 weeks. Then you could bounce over to Honeyman State Park, stay for a week, and then move right back into Thousand Trails South Jetty. And you could do that year round. Now, if you're looking to move park to park without any time out of the system, and you want to get some longer stays, then there are membership packages available. But let me tell you that you're going to experience a little bit of sticker shock here. Now, there's the Elite Basic, Elite Connections, and Adventure memberships, and they range in price anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, with more expensive options providing longer stays and also earlier reservation windows. Now, financing is available through Thousand Trails. We personally financed our Elite Connections package, and we pay $180 a month for 5 years towards that membership. After that 5 years, it's ours, and we're done with it. Now, you do have to pay dues. Annual dues apply, and they can be paid monthly as well. We choose to go that route, and we pay about $58 a month. But the good thing is, they go up year after year, but they freeze at age 60. So if you're anywhere near that or even post age 60, then you can count on that being a set price for you forever. Some packages like ours include some additional perks. We got 5 years of free week-long cabin stays when we signed up, and we've used the heck out of them. That's great. Another benefit is that memberships, not the camping pass for $600, but the more expensive memberships can be inherited if you purchase them new. There are used memberships on the market. You can Google that, used Thousand Trail membership. They're about half the cost, but they are not transferable. And you can only sell them once, from my understanding. So, like, if I wanted to sell our membership, I could do that. I could probably recoup about half of the cost. Or if I wanted to will it to someone, I could do that. If you buy a used membership, it is no longer transferable, meaning you can't sell it and you can't will it to anyone. It dies with you. Another cool thing about having the new membership is you can get a family pass. I think it's about $120 a year, and it allows your family, like, for example, my daughter-in-law and her family do this. They use our membership to camp, same perks, same benefits and everything. As long as we're not in the system, they can go do that, and they do. So as long as we're not in a Thousand Trails park, they can go and camp for 3 weeks at a time somewhere, and basically they get all the same benefits that we get. Now, remember that with Thousand Trails, just like any campground, it can be difficult to get last-minute reservations. So having that earlier reservation window that comes with the more expensive packages can get you into campgrounds in peak season a little easier. There's also a thing called the Trails Collection. It's an add-on, and I think it's about $200 a year, but it adds access to about 100 Encore parks across the nation. I haven't looked to see if there are numerous Encore parks in the Midwest. I know there are some. So that might be worth its weight in gold to have the Trails Collection, pay the extra $200 if you're traveling across the Midwest. It's also pretty advantageous in the Southwest. In Arizona, there are several Trails Collection campgrounds, Encore campgrounds, that you can stay at. Now, the deal with that is you can only stay for 14 days at the Encore parks, no matter what package you have. Now, the only way to get the Trails Collection is to have a more expensive membership, at Elite Basic at the minimum, which is in the thousands of dollars range, not the $600 range. But $200 a year buys you 100 plus parks, and when you get there, it's just like a Thousand Trails campground as far as billing goes. You don't pay any additional costs. So not a bad deal. Well, hey, let's go to a break. We've kind of broken down what Thousand Trails is. We've talked about some of the different membership options as well as the camping costs. We'll go to a break and we'll come back with our RV pro tip of the week. And we're going to dig into our exciting trips coming up this year. Hope you follow us along on the restlessnomads.com. Check us out on YouTube as well, the Restless Nomads on YouTube. And same logo as the show logo. You'll be able to recognize it right away, and you can follow me and Angie along as we go on these great adventures. We'll be right back with your RV pro tip of the week here on the Restless Nomads radio show. Want to get your business noticed? Sponsor a show on KKFO Gold Country Radio on 103.3 FM and create awareness through on-air announcements, our online stream at goldcountryradio.org, and our podcasts that live on forever. Your message reaches a broad local audience while also targeting listeners who choose to tune in to the shows they love. Plus, we promote your sponsorship across our website and social media. For more information, email goldcountryradio@gmail.com. Call 541-238-6989 or visit goldcountryradio.org. Gold Country Radio, your message heard locally and beyond. All right, the Restless Nomads radio show is back. To listen to any of these shows and all the community shows on Gold Country Radio, just head over to goldcountryradio.org and click on Featured Shows. On that page, there are players, and you can catch up on the ones that you missed. Time for this week's RV Pro Tip. This one is pretty well known and obvious, but I think it's a good time of year to remind people. When planning long-term stays at any campground, book as far in advance as possible, especially for peak seasons. So up here in the north of the United States, that means our peak season is in the summertime, and then in the Southwest, it's going to be wintertime. There'll be peak seasons. Everything will sell out in Arizona during the winter. Many popular campgrounds fill up quickly, making last-minute reservations dang near impossible. Now, just to give you, it's really gotten bad in recent years, to give you an idea. And you know, a lot of campgrounds are moving away from first come, first serve. There are fewer and fewer first come, first serve sites. So I think that has something to do with they'd rather have the money now than later sort of thing. And it's guaranteed money when someone reserves it, right? So I think that's probably the business move. But I attempted to book a reservation for July at Silver Falls State Park, and here we are in February. And it was completely sold out. Couldn't find a single night at Silver Falls State Park for July, which is months down the road. Now, if you're traveling spontaneously, check back frequently for cancellations because they happen all the time. People book these things out several months in advance, and then something happens, and they can't make it. And the good ones, the good folks out there, will go ahead and cancel that reservation. That will open up the slot for another person to get slid in there. Now, some inconsiderate folks, now keep this in mind too, if you have to cancel, you want to be considerate and let the park know, because especially in these high-demand places, high-demand campgrounds, they won't know that you canceled until day of when you don't show up, and you basically just gypped another traveler out of that spot. So always the considerate thing to do, to let the campground or the RV park know that you're going to cancel. And that will likely get some of your money back. If you just let it ride, you probably will not get any of it back. Now, having a flexible travel schedule can definitely improve your chances of securing a campsite. So what I typically do is look at the busiest campgrounds that I have on my route. I get those scheduled, and then I reserve the other ones around them, because that just seems to be the easiest way to do it. Now, we're headed on a couple of big trips. First to Yuma, Arizona, near the Mexican border, and we'll be using our Thousand Trails membership like crazy to save some money. So here's the route. We're going to stop at Lakehead Campground. That's near Lake Shasta, and that's not a Thousand Trails. It'll cost us $45. We'll spend one night there. We'll head to Thousand Trails Lake Minden. We'll stay 2 nights there for free. And then Thousand Trails Yosemite Lakes for 2 nights and get to explore Yosemite National Parks. That will be a free stay. The Oasis West RV Park, $60, and that is a 1-night stay. Then we'll make our way down to Thousand Trails Soledad Canyon. We'll stay 2 nights for free there. And then Thousand Trails Palm Springs, 2 nights for free there. And then finally, we'll get to the Encore Park Foothill Village in Yuma, Arizona, and we'll be there for an entire week for free. Well, kind of for free, as a part of our membership. So, not a bad situation. Definitely, if you're going to travel like that and just jump from Thousand Trails to Thousand Trails, you can save a bunch of money. Now, after our week in Yuma, and we're going to go across into the Mexican border, into Mexico, and experience Mexico. I don't think Angie's been there, so that's going to be kind of exciting. She'll add another country to her list. On the return trip, we're going to head up to Thousand Trails Camp Verde. We're going to spend 3 nights for free there. And then Fort Beale RV Park in Kingman, Arizona for $50, only 1 night there. Thousand Trails Las Vegas, free for 4 nights. Then we head up to Goldfield Miners Campground, $46 for 1 night. And then we have a decision to make from Goldfield Miners, or actually from Las Vegas, whether we're going to head up into Utah to Zion National Park, or if we're going to head back by the way of Lake Tahoe. If we do go Lake Tahoe, just for sake of this example, we'll stay at Zephyr Cove Campground. That's a National Forest Service managed campground. So we can use our America the Beautiful Pass and get half off, and we can stay there for $33 a night. And that's likely what we'll do if we're pretty tired and we want to come home. We'll just come home by way of Lake Tahoe, spend 1 night there, and then make the longest travel day of the entire trip is 5 hours, and that's from Lake Tahoe up to Klamath Falls. Now, notice I said the longest travel day is 5 hours. That's because typically we like to keep our travel time less than 3 hours. And so every campground on this route that I was mentioning is under 3 hours travel time between them. And we like to do that. It's just less stressful. It's less stressful on the truck. It's less stressful on the people driving the truck. It's just a better situation. And we pretty much apply that to most of our trips, although we have been on some humdingers and pulled 12-hour days. But let me tell you, when you're towing or driving an RV, even a motorhome, it is way more difficult and tiring than driving a Honda Civic or just a regular passenger vehicle. So you kind of want to plan for that. And the whole point of these trips is to have fun. So you don't want to stress yourself out. I think for us, 3 hours is that magic number. And then maybe the biggest, longest push will be the one to get home. And by that time, you're so ready to get home that you're ready to just push through. So, saving money with Thousand Trails. We're going to have hookups at all these campgrounds along the way, which will be nice. We're kind of hookup campers. I know there's a lot of folks that like the boondocking or dry camping as it's known. We're not really those kind of people. We like electricity, and we like the running water, and we like to have the TV on all night long and so forth. But the total trip is $234 for 26 camping days, and that averages out to $9 a day, mostly thanks to our Thousand Trails membership. Now, another trip we've got coming up in the summertime is up to British Columbia, Canada. We're going to start it off at Bend Sun River Thousand Trails, spend 3 nights there for free. Then we head over to Eugene. We're going to spend 3 nights there. It costs us $115 at a county park, and we'll have hookups there as well. Then we head up to Champoeg State Recreation Area, and we get that one free too with Veterans Pass. Typically, state parks aren't all that expensive. I don't know, anywhere from $30 to $45. And there are numerous state parks in Oregon that offer hookups, so look into that. If you're a disabled veteran, look into getting one of those Veterans Passes because you get 10 free nights a month. Also, you get your America the Beautiful Pass to stay at National Forest Service campgrounds for 50% off, and that's completely free to you. After Champoeg State Recreation Area, we head up to Thousand Trails, Chehalis, Washington, stay there for free for 3 nights. Then we go to Thousand Trails, Mount Vernon, Washington, free for 3 nights. And then we cross the border over into Canada and stay at Cultus Lake Thousand Trails in British Columbia, free for 7 nights. Now, granted, we could be staying up to 3 weeks at each of these campgrounds with our membership. We just don't want to spend that much time in one place. We kind of like to move. It seems like 3 nights at most places is the sweet spot until we get to our destination where we really, really want to spend some time exploring. For example, Yuma, Arizona is our week-long stay, and then up in Canada will be our week-long stay to kind of explore those different countries. On the way back, we're going to make our way to Thousand Trails La Conner. We'll stay there free for 2 nights. Paradise Resort, that's a Thousand Trails park, free for 3 nights. And then we make our way across I-84 over to Ainsworth State Park, and we stay there for free again with the Veterans Pass for 1 night before making our way back to Bend Sun River Thousand Trails, which we may or may not fulfill that reserve spot. We can stay there for free for 1 night, but as you know, it's only about 2 hours to get home, so we may just push through if we're starting to get itchy feet and we want to come home. Total camping fees for that 29 days of travel is $115. The only thing we had to pay for was the county park in Eugene. That averages out to $3.96 a night. So, Thousand Trail memberships can be well worth the investment if you are a frequent camper, especially if you're a full-time RVer. You can just jump from park to park and pretty much live within the Thousand Trails system. If you camp more than 24 nights per year, then the camping pass, which costs about $600, will probably save you money. If you only camp 2 or 3 weekends out of the summer, then it probably is not worth it. But if you are a full-time RVer or you really anticipate being on the road quite a bit for extended stays, and you're looking to get those longer booking windows, then the higher tier packages can be a game changer and can save you a lot of money in the long run. Now, the Thousand Trail system obviously has its drawbacks. Remember what I said in the first half of the show. You want to be cognizant that you're not paying for resort-style amenities. Whatever you get that works amenity-wise is an added bonus. If you walk into it with the expectation that you're going to get a spot to park your RV and power and water and sewer, then you're in much better shape. If you walk into it with that expectation, that's what you're paying for. Anything else is an added bonus. That's how you have to walk into this Thousand Trails membership, in my opinion. That's how I did it. That's why I wasn't disappointed with Thousand Trails Parks, because they have what I was looking for, and that's a place to park the RV for cheap and hookups. So definitely something to look into. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Restless Nomads. I hope you enjoyed today's topic, and hopefully that gave you some food for thought on whether or not to look into becoming a Thousand Trail member, or even just going the cheaper route and signing up for their camping pass. It's pretty much the only thing like it with that same kind of structure where you can stay for free at these places with hookups. There really isn't anything comparable out there. There are several other clubs and things like that you can become members with, like Boondockers Welcome. No hookups provided there, obviously. You can also join the Good Sam system, but that doesn't get you any free camping. It's just a percentage off, and it really isn't that significant. So Thousand Trails is kind of where it's at as far as value goes, in my opinion. Well, hey, if you enjoyed today's topic, check us out on therestlessnomads.com. Stay up to date on all of our travels and tips and guides. Until next time, guys, this is Mike with the Restless Nomads radio show. Safe travels and happy camping.